Now we think of Las Vegas as the adult playground of the world, the place to go if you want to have fun. But before Vegas, before Ibiza, there was Baiae, Rome's ultimate playground of sin, sex, and scandal. The story of Baiae is inseparable from the great Roman emperors who frequented it. Let's start with the notorious Caligula. He was known for his extravagant lifestyle and scandalous behavior, including his obsession with beautiful women. But once he entered Baiae, all bets were off. The town was built on volcanic soil, which provided natural hot springs, making it a perfect destination for relaxation and recreation. In fact, Baiae was considered to have the best baths in all of Italy. These springs were more than just a place to bathe. The city's harbor was one of the largest in the Mediterranean, making it a hub for trade and commerce. The navy kept a large fleet of ships here, which were used to patrol the Mediterranean and protect Roman interests. The town became known for its debauchery and immorality, and many of the powerful men who visited there met their end in violent and gruesome ways. The excesses of Baiae serve as a cautionary tale, reminding us that even the greatest empires can be brought down by their own vices and corruption. This gave Baiae an added sense of security, which in turn made it a more desirable destination for tourists and vacationers. The ruins of the city are now submerged beneath the sea, creating an eerie and mysterious underwater landscape that's a reminder of the city's wild past. But the legacy of lust still echoes through history, serving as a reminder of the dangers of unchecked desire and the corrupting power of wealth and privilege. The harbor was also home to a number of public works projects, including a lighthouse and a bridge. These structures were not only functional, but also served as symbols of Roman engineering prowess. Visitors to the harbor would have been impressed by the skill and ingenuity of the Romans on display in these public works. Merchants from all over the known world came to Baiae to sell their wares, which ranged from everyday necessities to luxury goods. The harbor was also a gateway to the rest of Italy, with roads leading to Rome and other major cities radiating out from Baiae. This made it easy for visitors to explore the rest of the country after taking a dip in the famous baths. And if you liked this video, please subscribe to get notified when I publish new content. Thanks for watching. They were a social hub where people could meet, greet, and socialize, while enjoying the healing powers of the water. The springs were also believed to have medicinal properties. People with various ailments came to Baiae to bathe in the warm waters and alleviate their suffering. Some even claimed that the springs could cure infertility. Claudius transformed into a hedonistic beast, partaking in every vice the town had to offer. These bathhouses became the center of social life in the city and were frequented by the rich and powerful. One of the most popular bathhouses was the Forum Baths, named after the nearby Forum of Emperor Nerva, was particularly famous for its stunning mosaics depicting scenes from Greek mythology. Another notable bathhouse was the Apollo Villa, which featured a unique heating system that circulated warm air throughout the complex. This innovative technology made the Apollo Villa one of the most comfortable and relaxing places to bathe in all of Baiae. Suetonius tells us that Claudius held orgies lasting up to 5 days, complete with gladiators, prostitutes, and exotic animals. The poorer residents of Baiae had to make do with cold seawater. Despite this stark contrast, the thermal springs remained a symbol of unity for the diverse population of Baiae. People from different social classes came together to enjoy the healing waters and soak up the atmosphere of this bustling town. He unleashed poisonous snakes into the audience at the gladiator games, delighted in throwing gold coins from a tower. Enjoying the sight of common folk fighting over the riches, he chained chariots like dominoes, then unleashed poisonous snakes among the horses, causing chaos and panic among the crowds. Even after contracting an STD allegedly from a prostitute, he continued to frequent brothels, perhaps seeking to infect others as revenge. So despite his seemingly boring nature, Claudius proved to be just as depraved as any other Roman emperor. Caligula hosted legendary feasts and parties at Baiae, inviting 8 men of only one type, bald, short, or fat. We can only imagine the chaos that ensued when such an eclectic group gathered in the same room. Located on the sunny Bay of Naples, Baiae was where the rich and powerful came to lose their morals. And it was the ancient world's very own Sodom and Gomorrah, filled with sex, debauchery, and excess. Welcome to my channel. Today we'll explore one of ancient Rome's most infamous locations, a destination that even the Roman emperors couldn't resist, Baiae. But even Caligula was outdone by his successor, Nero, who took pleasure to a whole new level. The emperor transformed his pleasure boat into an opulent floating palace, complete with gardens, gold leaf statues, and enough space to accommodate 600 guests. Nero cruised these waters with his 300 oarsmen singing, dancing, and drinking, seducing anyone he desired. But Nero wasn't the only one. The wealthy Roman senator Petronius also owned a magnificent yacht named the Delta. He was so proud of his vessel that he wrote an entire book about it, which unfortunately has not survived to our time. However, we know from other sources that the Delta was a sight to behold, featuring towers, tiered seating, and even a full-size gymnasium. It must have been quite the experience to sail around the Bay of Naples on one of these luxurious yachts. The most surprising devotee of Baiae, however, was Emperor Claudius, famous for his rather dull reputation. One of the main attractions of Baiae was the thermal springs. Emperor Hadrian famously fell in love with the springs and built a series of luxurious bathhouses around them. However, not everyone could afford the luxury of bathing in the spring. While the thermal springs were undoubtedly a major draw for Baiae, they were far from the only attraction. In addition to its economic importance, the harbor was also a major military base for the Roman Empire. Despite its many attractions, Baiae was ultimately undone by its own excesses. Baths, brothels, and betrayals are all synonymous with Baiae, which was probably cursed by the gods. So what do you think? Would you have enjoyed a day at Baiae? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.